Joining me now is Joel Rubin, national security expert and former Deputy Assistant Secretary of State under President Barack Obama. Mr. Rubin, thank you so much for being here. I want to get right to what we just talked about in the last minute, but right to this, breaking news that I want to ask you about. We've just learned that a U.S. destroyer has shot down a drone from Yemen, believed to be aimed at the ship. The drone was destroyed, no Americans were hurt. Joel, what does this tell us about the instability of that region?
Nick, it's great to be with you, and I appreciate your asking this, because what it means is that Iran is continuing to poke and prod and to try to stir up a mess in the Middle East that builds on the mess that Hamas created on October 7th. And so for the United States, we have aircraft carrier groups in the Eastern Mediterranean. We also have assets in the Persian Gulf, and this likely came from the Houthis in Yemen. They're backed by Iran. And good for our military to shoot these drones and the missiles that are shot as well, that only seek to create chaos, attack American forces, and potentially attack Israel.
And that's the question, Joel. We can't help but ask, then, what is the intent? Why continue to pose these threats to American troops?
Well, look, it's no secret that Iran wants the United States out of the Middle East. Iran does not like that the United States is allies in the Middle East. Does not like that we have great relations with Israel, with Egypt, Jordan, Persian Gulf states, Saudi Arabia. The list goes on, and that we are, in many ways, the backbone for these countries and their ability to not have Iran meddle in their internal affairs, to do like what they've done in Yemen or in Lebanon or in Syria, which is to cause chaos, support dictators, and create major civilian casualties. So the United States is counted on by these other countries, our allies, and Iran doesn't like that and is testing the waters and trying to push and provoke more chaos for the allies of the United States and the United States.
Joel, I want to shift back to China, because we just heard Nancy talk about how important this meeting is between the two leaders, Xi Jinping and President Biden. What are you expecting to come from this meeting, and how important is it that some type of consensus be reached?
Well, it's a really significant moment to get this relationship back on track, and to see Xi in the United States. And leading up to this, having some warm announcements. There's an announcement essentially that there's a deal on climate change, our goal to ramp up renewable energy investment by both countries to combat climate change, and to see them talking nicely about each other ahead of time. This is incredibly important for global stability. The big fear is out there in international relations discussions is that the United States and China will have some type of military conflict, be it over Taiwan or other issues. So it's incredibly important that not take place. And the way to prevent that is to have meetings like this, where hard issues are discussed, but they're discussed in a manner that is productive and that is diplomatic, not military focused.
And Joel, talk to us about this quickly before we run out of time, because the United States is not the only country in a position of need. China needs the United States as well. We understand that so many of their young people are now being asked to go to rural areas because China is having an economic crisis of their own.
Well, I was in China, Nick, in 2019. I actually went there on a trip, and I had met with graduate students who I taught here in the United States. And the countryside is incredibly poor in China. It is a developing part of the country, and they do need American investment. They do need engagement with the United States and the West on economic ties. And they've had a slowdown there. Maybe they're feeling the pinch. Maybe they're feeling the sanctions and the pressure that President Biden and other leaders around the world have placed on China for its belligerence, or in response to its belligerence, in particular in the South China Sea. So this could be a good outcome potentially to try to re-engage the world, to not be as belligerent, and to look for economic ties, which is the way to do international relations rather than shooting bombs and rockets at each other.
That is definitely a preferred tactic, more so than the latter. National security expert Joel Rubin, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.
Thanks, Nick.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.